What's going on, guys? It's the Hunter Project here. Welcome back to my channel. It has been quite a bit of time since my previous video, at least longer than it usually is between my videos, and that is partly due to burnout as well as also due to real life obligations. Don't worry though, content will still be pushed out on a weekly basis, or at least I will try my hardest to make it on a weekly basis at minimum, without making it a forceful upload. As of course, if it's an upload that I don't really want to do and I'm doing it for the sake of having like a schedule, it probably won't be a very good video, and I probably won't enjoy making it, which of course isn't why I do YouTube, as I'm not getting paid for this. At least I'm not getting paid much for this. It's like little cents pretty much. So with that boring stuff out of the way, today I'm going to be bringing you a video on a feature that is missing from Monster Hunter Rise that I think was a very cool addition to Monster Hunter World, at least in my opinion, and that is the immersive and practical incentive of capturing a monster. As always, if you do enjoy this video and Monster Hunter content in general, be sure to slap that like button and subscribe for a lot more Monster Hunter videos in the future, and without wasting any more time, let's jump straight into the video. So, in Monster Hunter World, capturing a monster was more than just the action of doing just that. Monsters would then be displayed on a capture palette of sorts that would display the monster that you had just captured, adding to the game's immersion. And this of course would be to the left of where you spawn into Astera, and this added to the game's cohesive experience of making visual impacts to your surroundings after the quest had completed, which is missing in Monster Hunter Rise, as I feel like in Monster Hunter Rise when you come back from a quest, that's it, the quest is done. There's no remnants of what you've just accomplished. Of course you can craft armor and weapons as with every other Monster Hunter game, but there's nothing visually impacted, or at least even like mentioned, other than story elements of course. There's no mention of what you had just done, whereas this capture display of sorts that they made in World, which was literally just the palette showing the monster resting on it, still sleeping from when you tranked it. Just in general, I feel like it added a lot to the game, and it made it a lot more immersive, and definitely for me at least, immersion is a big key factor for games nowadays for me, as if I'm not immersed into a game, I just won't be interested or have the attention span to continue playing it or feel invested. And while you could say other games in the franchise also lack this feature, it's not the same, as of course Monster Hunter Rise is the only Monster Hunter game so far that has come after Monster Hunter World, and Monster Hunter Rise already takes a lot of features from World, making it a bit odd that they decided to leave this behind, as I feel like it doesn't seem like too big of a thing to add, at least from my own perspective. And in a practical sense as well, this also gave you the option to face the monster in the arena, which opened up additional functions like testing weapons as well as analysing monsters, similar to how, at least how I think, the game's lore probably showcases the intent of monster capture, as of course they would probably capture the monster to like analyse its various like materials, as well as probably how it's most effectively slain, what different areas could be used for armors and such and so forth. And while this is not a game breaker for Monster Hunter Rise, I think it would have been nice, in my opinion, to have some features or even a single feature that helped create a more cohesive transition from quests to the game hub world. And yes, having the movement not restricted in the hub in Monster Hunter Rise is pretty awesome, being able to use the wire bug and just everything else that comes along with that. I don't think it was enough for me at least to tie the experience together from quest to the hub. This isn't me trashing the Monster Hunter Rise experience or the game in general, just to make that clear, but I think it was a little fun thing, a little fun visual aspect as well as practical aspect from World that I think added a lot more to the game than meets the eye. In addition to all that, it wasn't a very obvious implementation as well, which I feel like made it that much better, as I do remember when I first came across this this little feature, and I was quite surprised that they actually had something in the hub world that represented what you had just accomplished in the quest, which generally speaking is never really reciprocated in most Monster Hunter games, at least to my knowledge, and I hope they are able to bring this back, this little side little thing back in some form. And that goes for both the visual hub representations of what you've accomplished out on the hunt, as well as the arena quest unlock for those captured. Also, I know that this feature kind of adds on to the living, breathing world concept of Monster Hunter World, but I don't think the other games shouldn't try to at least have a more cohesive connection, linking your efforts out in the field to what you experience back in the hub world. I think they should try at least a little bit. It doesn't necessarily have to be the idea of having everything like just all tied together, of having monsters like having an ecosystem and everything, but there's just those little touches that link your quests to when you're done with those quests, just to have something to remember the quest by, like, okay, yeah, the game acknowledges and the village acknowledges what I've just done. Just those little features I feel like add a lot to the experience. But with that said, guys, that does bring us to the end of this video. I hope this wasn't too like silly of an idea to bring up. It is just a very little thing that I was looking at when I was playing World recently that I thought, maybe this should be in Rise, just for the sake of having that cohesive experience, which I am a big fan of for games. But let me know down below, guys, if you would like to see this little feature return, as well as any other features that were left behind in past Monster Hunter games that you would like to see return in Monster Hunter Rise, or even possibly even the next Monster Hunter World sequel, whatever that ends up being. And I look forward to seeing what you guys have to say. As always, if you did enjoy the video, a like would be extremely appreciated. It does help out the channel a ton, and subscribe for a lot more Monster Hunter content. Don't forget to join our Discord, link is at the top of the description. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye.